Hi students, today we will discuss about osteoporosis. Okay, before going to the osteoporosis, let's briefly describe about the means an overview of the osteoporosis. Here, if you see, osteoporosis is not completely related to the endocrinological disorder, but if we see, the major cause of osteoporosis is decrease in the estrogen level, which is due to the aging in women. Means upon their age, the estrogen level will decrease. So due to the decrease in the estrogen levels, they are more prone to get osteoporosis. So it is a kind of a endocrinology disorder, but it is not completely depends upon the means completely not related to the endocrine disorder, but it's a part of that disorder. So there are some guidelines that have to be followed as for monitoring or for detecting the osteoporosis in healthy patients. So we actually do screening for osteoporosis. How will screen? Okay, for every disease there will be some test, means that is for diagnosis we will follow some tests, that is nothing but screening. Here also some tests are involved here, but if you see, this osteoporosis is an extremely frequent disease which is processed in the US, and approximately 10 million people in the US have osteoporosis. And it is if we go deep into this, it is underlooked and undertreated and preventable disease. Significantly, potential complications can occur when it is left untreated. Okay, to whom it can be means attacked? If we say it is primarily occurred in the white women aged above 50 years. We know that racism, that is whites, blacks. So it is more affected to the whites when compared to the blacks, and it is mainly affected to the women above 50 years of age. And what are the risk factors? If we see, the patient risk factors includes age above 50 years and postmenopausal and early menopause, white and Asian race, thin build, sedentary lifestyle, alcohol or tobacco use, hypogonadism, hyperthyroidism. These are the some risk factors which are readily to get osteoporosis, and we will deeply discuss it later. And all these factors, risk factors together, can predispose to the condition known as osteoporosis. And what are the drugs involved here? What are the drugs involved in the contribution to development of osteoporosis? Anti-epileptic drugs, and sometimes patients who are taking that epileptic drugs or any corticosteroids, for which disease we will take these epileptic drugs will be taken for epilepsy or convulsions, and corticosteroids can be taken for any rheumatoid arthritis or arthritis, gout, any disease related to this. So if any patient is taking corticosteroids, they are more openly prone to get osteoporosis. And the next one, how we'll diagnose a patient with osteoporosis, means how we can know that they're getting osteoporosis means. So how we can diagnose this osteoporosis means there is a specific test for this. So the objective way we define and diagnose the osteoporosis is by measuring the severity of the osteoporosis. How we can measure? Yes, by using a T-score. It is a measurement of the osteoporosis. So T-score means that that is done by examining a radiological exam called DEXA. DEXA means nothing but dual energy X-ray absorption. It is we'll call that as a DEXA. This DEXA is a bone density measurement, and the T-score is a number that represents the standard deviations which is away from the average bone density of the healthy adult in their 20s. Is it clear? T score is a number that represents a standard deviation away from for every patient there will be a average bone density of the when they are in their 20s. So by comparing that average bone density, we'll compare that as a standard, and now we'll take the result of the T score as a test. Means this is the result. Based on this T score, we'll say that whether the patient is osteoporosis or not. And here how we can use this. So if we are the negative T scorer, means we are having the less bone density, and if we are the positive T scorer, means we are having the more bone density when compared to our average healthy adult bone density. Is it clear? Average healthy adult bone density in their 20s is the standard one. That is standard for both the negative and positive. If in case negative, if we are getting the negative T score, means we are having less bone density. If we are getting positive bone density, means we are having more bone density when compared to the average healthy adult. So now people who is older generally going to have negative T score, because in their 20s they will be having high bone density, because in their means at the young age they are very strong and their muscle will be strong. Due to the muscle strength, the bone density will be higher. As upon getting older and older, the muscle will become weak and bone density will become decrease. As we told that if the bone density will become decreased, the T score value will be negative. If the T score value is negative, then the patient is considered as a osteoporosis. Is it clear? If the T score value is negative, okay, we have the standard value, that is 2.5. 0 is the common value. If it is as we know that if it is less than if the T score is 0 minus 1 to minus 2.5, we can call it as osteopenia. And if it is less than minus 2.5 to even more less, then we can call that as a osteoporosis. But 0 is the common thing, means that is average T score. Okay, is it clear? If our T score is negative, we'll be having less bone density. If the T score is positive, we'll having more bone density. So osteoporosis, by this we can define the osteoporosis as T score which is a standard deviation of negative 2.5 or less than that. So that there are 2.5 standard deviation below the average healthy adult in the 20s. So this is the osteoporosis, that is defined as T score of minus 2.5 or less. And here continuously talking the average T score or standard deviation, something that what is the average T score? Yes, the from previous from the past few minutes we are talking continuously about the T score. So what is the average T score value is 0. So if the T score is minus 2.5 or less, means we can consider that as a osteoporosis. Here it is it. And what is osteopenia means? It is defined as the T score between minus 1 to minus 2.5. It is the osteopenia. Okay, here we can see the third term, that is osteomalacia. If you go to osteomalacia, it is entirely different from the two of the above. Means in the first two, the bone matrix is intact and we can have the two parts of our bone. If you see, there are two parts of our bone, that is first one, calcium hydroxyapatite, which gives us the firmness of the bone and hardness of the bone. Means the firmness and hardness of the bone we get from which we get is from calcium hydroxyapatite. And the next one is organic matrix, means where the calcium hydroxy is surrounded primarily by a collagen. Means the first layer is covered by the second layer, that is called collagen. So in osteomalacia, Malaysia, we can see the decreased mineral to the collagen ratio. So if we see the difference here, the osteoporosis and osteopenia, we can see both having decreased in the bone mineralization, and but only we can see here is there is a decrease in the organic matter, but in osteomalacia we can see only the decrease in the bone mineralization. Is it clear? I think something is fishy here. In osteoporosis and osteopenia, we can observe both decrease in the bone mineralization and decrease in the organic matter. But in osteomalacia, we can see only decrease in the bone mineralization. Okay? Okay. Where we are seeing this organic matter? Yes. In osteomalacia and osteopenia and osteoporosis, there are two layers of the bone. That is calcium hydroxyapatite, which is the first layer which gives the firmness and hardness, and surrounding that there is another layer called organic matter, which is covered by a collagen. So these are the two layers which is observed in the osteoporosis and osteopenia. So, and here if you see this osteomalacia is a disorder of the bone mineralization. However, the bone matrix is intact. Clinically, this is a completely separate set of diseases, and it is not at all related to the osteoporosis or osteopenia. And the cornerstone of this therapy in the osteoporosis is bisphosphonate drugs. The main therapy, only the main treatment is bisphosphonate drugs, that is alendronate and resendronate. These are the main drugs which is used for the treatment of osteoporosis. So here if you see the risk factors, as I previously told that these are the risk factors. The first risk factor is age above 50 years. Upon we know that women who are above the age of 50 years, due to their less estrogen levels, they are more prone to get osteoporosis. So bone density gradually decreases, and in case of postmenopausal and early menopause, all of these are associated with the low estrogen levels, and estrogen induces the normal apoptosis of the osteoclast. And here, due to this less estrogen results, means low levels of the estrogen, it results in the osteoclast. What happens if there is a less levels of osteoclast? And evenfully it leads to the decreased count of the osteoblast. And here if you see the thin built and sedentary lifestyle, means why this is risk factor for the osteoporosis. Yes, some patients with some people with the weight bearing activities, generally some weight bearing activities strengthens our bones. So if we are living a sedentary lifestyle, means no exercise or no walking or no work for the body, means we are not at all giving any physical strength to the body, then there is a major risk, because strong muscles makes us strong bones. If we are not going to give any pressure to our body, our muscles will become weak, means in early stage only our muscles will become weak. So it is a major risk for the osteoporosis. And the cause of generally there are two types of osteoporosis: primary osteoporosis and secondary osteoporosis. These are all the primary osteoporosis. So the cause of the secondary osteoporosis is the drugs and underlying diseases. What are the drugs? AEDs, means anti-epileptic drugs or steroid drugs. And what is the diseases that causing the secondary osteoporosis? Means hyperthyroidism and hypogonadism. And deficiency of calcium, means calcium deficiency, and vitamin D supplements are the main cause of the secondary osteoporosis. So how can we screen the osteoporosis patient? Means how can we diagnose the patient? History, means based on the history. HX means nothing but history. Generally osteoporosis patient never shows any history, mean based on the risk factors or based on the symptoms, means we know that when compared to the whites and blacks, whites are more prone to get osteoporosis. So whites or Asians, and if any family history of osteoporosis or any fractures, or ethyl alcohol, means ETOH means nothing but ethyl alcohol, ethanol, that is nothing but alcohol use or smoking or any use of the drugs, as I told you previously. These are the main standards of the standards of finding the patients with osteoporosis. And what are the use of in which conditions we are using the AEDs? In case of epilepsy or convulsions, and in case of steroids, means for rheumatoid arthritis or SLE, etc. So these are the conditions when we will use these drugs. And SX or PX, SX means nothing but signs and symptoms. Signs and symptoms means signs and symptoms. So what are the signs? Means vertebral pain, hip pain. This may also be radiated to the knee area or groin or buttocks. And what is the physical examination? In physical examination, generally we can observe the thoracic kyphosis and Dowager's hump, and we can also see decrease in the height or point tenderness and gait instability. These are the signs and symptoms. So if we see the best first diagnostic step is patient, when we suspect a osteoporosis patient, is the main test we have to follow is the DEXA scan. DEXA, as I told you previously, it is nothing but dual energy X-ray absorption. Here it is a first and primary test for diagnosing the osteoporosis, and it gives the most accurate results. So in addition to FRAX means nothing but fracture risk assessment questionnaires. Other than these questionnaires and question and answers, other than these questionnaires, DEXA also provides some more accurate results. So if you see the DEXA score of minus 2.5 or less, it is, as I told you previously, if we need to say that patient is osteoporosis, means if the T score is minus 2.5 or less, we can consider that as a osteoporosis. And in case of osteopenia, means if the T score is about minus 1 to minus 0. Minus 1 to minus 2.5, then we can say that as a osteopenia. So here we are going for the osteoporosis. So if the DEXA score is minus 2.5 or less than that, then we can definitely assume that, not assuming, then we can conclude that the patient is osteoporosis patient. And here what are the other laboratory tests we have to perform in CBC? That is nothing but complete blood count. It should be normal in the primary osteoporosis, and we know that pancytopenia points towards the multiple myeloma. And what is CMP? CMP means nothing but it is one of the panel which measures everything in the blood test. Means that is nothing but about urea, creatinine, sodium, electrolytes, everything. Means every factor is included in this CMP. So it should be normal, or it should be in the baseline in the primary osteoporosis. If we find out any low calcium levels, it indicates a hypocalcemia. This hypocalcemia may cause osteoporosis. So here the renal failure points towards a CKD BMD, and it should be followed with the PTH levels, and also magnesium levels and vitamin D levels. And if we go for the liver panel, we can observe the elevated AST and ALT, which indicates a hepatic disease, which is possible due to chronic alcoholism. And the next one is thyroid panel. Due to the low TSH with the elevated T4, it indicates a hyperthyroidism, which may also be a cause of osteoporosis. And other tests based on the patient specific history and the risk. In men's and younger women's, serum FSH levels may also be useful, and especially they may be also low. These are the tests used to perform during the osteoporosis. And if you see the screening, not all the patients have the same screening and same clinical features based on the history. So this osteoporosis may present here the 67% of the vertebral fractures are subclinical, and USP STF recommends that screening all the women over the age of 65 with DEXA scan is the most recommended test. Other patients should be screened based on the clinical suspicion and risk factors. Means women above the 65 years of age should be definitely should be scanned with the DEXA scan, and remaining all the patients, as I told, that all the relevant tests should be performed in the remaining patients. This is the related tests. So if we come to the treatment, what is the main treatment goals is the best initial treatment in patient with osteoporosis is, as I told you, bisphosphonate. What are the drugs involved in this bisphosphonate is alendronate, risendronate, zoledronic acid and ibandronate. And there are we know that every drug will have a minimum side effect. So here also there are few side effects. So what are the side effects it includes is esophagitis and esophageal ulceration, and also it increases the risk of esophageal cancer, bone pain and hypocalcemia. And raloxifene, it may be useful if the patient fails or if he or she can't tolerate this bisphosphonate. Means this raloxifene is the secondary means the second choice of the treatment, and it may be only for the women. And novel therapies, that is anti RANKL, that is some novel drug therapy is also recommended, but it is not our primary goal, but our primary treatment is using the bisphosphonate therapy. So and if you come for the non-pharmacological treatment, weight bearing exercise should be performed, and calcium and vitamin D supplements should be preferred, and lifestyle changes like avoid smoking and quitting alcohol. These are the some sedentary lifestyle modifications to be followed.